This story I've kept hidden inside me since it happened. Me and the people involved, we never told anyone about this experience. We promised each other we wouldn't tell our parents for fear of getting in trouble. Also, we were certain no one would believe us. No, I won't tell you where this is. No one should go to this place. I will never share its location. That's why I won't even tell you what state this happened in. I don't want any of you trying to Google it and find anything about it. I grew up in the Midwest, and I don't know if anyone outside the Midwest knows this, but there's a lot of haunted old homes, buildings, etc. Just look at some of those investigation shows like Ghost Hunters and the like. The town I lived in was surrounded by farming land, especially cornfields. Really small town, and you'd always see a lot of abandoned, crumbling apart houses, barns, and other such things. I grew up in a family that absolutely loved horror movies. I learned quick that I had to not be scared of it and remember, it's just a movie. It's fake. By the time I was about 8 or 9 years old, I was desensitized and could handle them. That's what happens when your mom had you watching horror movies since you were a toddler, I guess. Growing up, all my friends knew about our family. My mother used to let us have small get-togethers with friends every Halloween. We would watch scary movies and stuff over coming back from trick-or-treating, and every year without fail, she'd do some secret prank that terrified all of our friends. I grew up very interested in the paranormal and things that couldn't be explained, partially because of the things I've never seen that I can't explain, but I wasn't stupid. My mother taught my sisters and I to never touch a Ouija board, to never try to communicate with anything, that it was too dangerous. When I was 16, a couple of my friends invited me to hang out with them. With no context of what we were doing, they picked me up. We took off driving into the countryside. We drove for almost an hour, and then they suddenly pulled off to the side of the road. Confused, I looked around. "Why are you stopping? Does someone have to pee?" They laughed, unbuckling their seatbelts. "No, we're here." I looked around, seeing we were surrounded by cornfields. I said, staring at them, waiting for them to say they were joking. "Don't worry, just get out and follow us." "Are you about to kill me and bury me in a cornfield?" I half joked. "You're crazy," they laughed. "No, we wanted you to come somewhere with us." Okay, I said warily. They led me through the field that had previously grown corn, but had already been harvested for the season. I could think of a handful of horror movies that warned me not to go walking around in the middle of nowhere. My friends kept leading me along, until we reached the tree line. Guys, this isn't funny. Where are we going?" "Don't worry, it should be right up here." They pointed a few hundred feet away. Surrounded by overgrown grass and trees lay a decrepit old farmhouse. "What the hell?" I said to them. They smiled eagerly. "We heard this house is super haunted, and we know you aren't scared of horror movies or creepy stuff, so we thought you wouldn't be scared to go in with us." "You expect me to go in there? That place looks like it will fall down if you breathe on it. You're fucking crazy. I'm not gonna die in the middle of nowhere in a fucking haunted barn. You're nuts. Take me home. I'm gonna call my dad." "Aw, come on, please. Everyone else is too chicken to go in." "Yeah, I thought you were known for not being scared of stuff. Are you scared to go in?" "That thing is a damn safety hazard. It's not stable. What if we step in and fall through the fucking floor or something? I'm not dying today." They whined, begging me to go in with them. You guys, it seriously doesn't look safe to walk in there. It's so old and worn down. We could get injured, and there's no one around to help us if we get trapped in there. Okay, so what if we just, like, open the door and look in, not go in? Would that be okay? You're not gonna go inside? We'll just peek inside. I sighed. 5 minutes, and then I'm going back to the car with or without you, and I'll wait there and call my dad if I have to. Yeah, just 5 minutes. Begrudgingly, I walked with them towards the house. There was a heavy feeling in my chest, sinking down into my stomach. I may be able to handle horror movies, but that's just a video on a TV. It's not real. They excitedly pulled on the front door, which was shaky and unstable. I stood back behind them, having no interest on looking inside this place. Okay, just peek inside for a few minutes, and then we're leaving, don't... Before I could even finish my sentence, they ran inside. Are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck out of there, it's not safe. Just when I was about to take a step towards the door, it felt like the air was punched out of me. Something wasn't right. They giggled, walking around the first floor as the floorboards creaked beneath them. You guys, I gasped. Get out of there. This doesn't feel right. Something isn't right about this place. I stood at the doorway holding my hand against the old, worn-out door for balance so I wouldn't fall over. I looked around the darkness and sighed, only small streams of sunlight leaking in through broken, worn-out panels nailed to what used to be a window. And the sunlight pouring in through the open doorway I was standing in. They had disappeared from my sight, their voices sounding more distant. I tried looking around, and I saw that there was a doorway with an open door. No way. I'm not going into this house. No way I'm going in this house. Guys, I called out again. Please get out. It's not safe to be in there. I heard their distant voices, talking about something I couldn't make out. Suddenly, there was this horrible smell. The smell was so strong and so awful that my eyes started to water, and I had to cover my nose. It smelled like rotten, decaying meat sitting out in the hot sun. I looked around the inside of this old house. From what I could see in the doorway, a lot of it was bare. The only furniture inside was a few old broken apart wooden chairs. This place had become a bit overgrown, reclaimed by nature. There was broken wood, glass, and other things scattered around. There was a staircase in the far-off corner in the back of the house. I could still hear my friends talking from the other room. Guys, come on, get out of this damn house. I'm not coming in after you. All of a sudden, it got quiet. I heard the door to the room they were in slam shut. Guys, what are you doing? This isn't funny. I'm not going inside. I heard a sound coming from up above. I stepped back away from the house. I heard my friends scream suddenly and call my name for help. I stood frozen, watching, waiting to see my friends run out laughing, telling me that they were pranking me. As I stood there, peering in, I saw something hiding in the darkness at the top of the staircase. I backed up, getting further from the house. No, I said, watching as the dark figure descended down the staircase ever so slowly. I could hear the unstable staircase creaking and groaning with each step it took. Even with daylight shining around me, it was so dark inside this house, I couldn't see what it was. The figure was just a shadow, but I knew one thing. Whatever it is, I don't want it coming near me. I screamed out my friend's name, trying to warn them, get out of the house, something's in there. Their screams hadn't stopped. Suddenly, I heard the sound of wood cracking. I couldn't hear my friends screaming anymore. Before I could panic, my friends ran at me from the side of the house. How did they get out? They were trying to catch their breath when they looked inside the open door. The shadow figure was standing at the bottom of the steps now, staring at the three of us. "What the fuck is that?" one of them screamed out. Suddenly, we heard this disgusting, guttural sound. I sprang into action, slamming the door. "Nope," I said, taking off running back in the direction of the road. Thank God that season was done and that the fields were cleared. If I had had to run through a full cornfield to escape this shadow thing. We made it to the car and climbed inside, locking the doors immediately. We were all breathing heavily, trying to catch our breath. My friend was driving. The car took off, racing off down the road. Once we had gotten far enough away, I looked at them. There was blood on their clothes. First off, why the fuck did you guys not listen to me and just run in there? Are you fucking crazy? Secondly, why is there blood on you? We fucked up, okay? We should have listened to you. What the fuck happened in there? Why did you shut the door? We didn't shut it. It shut by itself. What about the blood? They were both shaking. We were looking around the room. There were these weird symbols and drawings all over the walls. There were these weird symbols and drawings all over the walls. Then we heard something above us. It sounded like someone was up there, moving around. So we were about to leave the room and come back out to you, and the door slammed in our faces. We tried opening it, but it wouldn't open. While we pushed on it, something was dripping on us from the ceiling. The ceiling was fucking leaking blood. That's when we started screaming, and I stared at them in shock. The door wouldn't open, but there was an old window boarded up. So I grabbed some of the broken pieces of wood around to break through it, and we crawled out. "I told you not to go in there," was all I could get out. My friend in the passenger seat looked at me. What was that thing? I didn't know what to say to them. I had no idea what that was. I had no idea what they saw in that room. This is why you don't go in creepy old disgusting fucking buildings for fun, you assholes. I screamed at them, tears pouring down my face. "We're sorry, we just thought it was some old building. We didn't think anything would happen." That's how all the fucking horror movies start out, you idiots. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes before exploding again. Don't you ever try to bring me to some abandoned, creepy place in the middle of the goddamn woods ever again. After a while of driving in silence, my friend was driving the car, spoke up in a quiet voice. "Hey, you know what was really weird?" We looked at him, waiting for what he was about to say. Those drawings were still wet. This has been Don't Explore Abandoned Houses. You might not make it back out. The author's Reddit page can be found down below. I really enjoyed this story. Please check out more of her work, and I hope she writes more in the future. Thank you for joining me this week. Please stay tuned for more spooky tales. Stay safe and keep creating.